Wow, Libra, I can see what a tough journey it has been. And probably the last few months have been a doozy with your world feeling like it's been turned upside down. But I've got some good news at the end of the day, okay? So let's not dwell in the things that might have fallen apart, that needed to go by the wayside, and rise up like that first placement card in the High Priestess, which is the general gist of the reading. And like a phoenix, you're rising out of the rubble of that tower, which is the crossing card. So the High Priestess is a representation of you. She would be an exalted state of Libra because we're reaching for the spiritual and not the material. And maybe that's why that tower too, more emotion and more spirit might have been involved than the material world in that breakdown. So, but that's okay, always for our betterment. And you can't let that energy of the tower kind of block the energy of the High Priestess, which is you emerging in your own form, your own identity, a combination of the material, but a big dose of spiritual. And the more importantly, the way that you want to be spiritually, even if it's just only an internal journey, or just the way that you want to treat yourself in the outside world and the people, the way that you interact with one another. And maybe out of that two placement, there was some destruction that needed to come about from people in situations that no longer served you or were continually bringing you down. Remember, you're Venus ruled, so you're always going to have love at the forefront. You're always going to have goodwill and wanting to do good stuff for people. So, and that could hurt us sometimes with not the right individuals, or situations that don't serve us. But at the end of the day, even though it's tough, I hate to say it, no harm done. Because in the three at the top of the matter is the Queen of Wands, and that's the answer from God. So I couldn't get you to the Queen with the easy stuff. It's only going to be the tough stuff that makes you royal in the area of the creative. So that's going to serve you everywhere. Not only just like giving you that stoic nature, but that confidence when you walk in a room, or if you have to engage in meetings or sell people your ideas or promote or PR, just anything to do with social situations. The Queen radiates. She's like a warm fire on a cold day. Everyone wants to sit next to her. And she's got that lion there. She's Leo in the zodiac and the tarot, and she's just hot stuff, and that's you. Okay, so, and you earn the Queen, so let's enjoy it a little bit. And you're ready to anyway, because at the base of the matter in that fourth placement is like the gut feeling. You're ready to shine. So whatever happened out of that tower situation, fundamentally it's not good for you. Maybe you weren't supported enough. Maybe you weren't loved enough. Maybe you weren't, anything appreciated overall, right? And that's the sun. You're ready to turn that. And what's so beautiful is, again, with the combination of the Queen at the top, everything gravitates to the sun, right? Everything living gravitates to the sun. So when we're promoting ourselves or our ideas or just getting out there, the sun gives us an extra dose. And also putting ourselves in the sun, it makes us feel good, right? It enhances our vitamins, and it just gives us our own little spring in the step and a little sunshine. But to the ancient tarot, it was like opening up the doors of your heart and your head to let a fresh breeze, warm light, to zap out those insecurities, fears, and anxieties, and doubts, and secrets, and all that probably built up from the tower. Okay, that's God's shining light to say, here, let's get out of this. Take the dust out of your eyes and brush yourself off. It's okay. The tower is the things that bound us in for too long. So you need to reflect on that as well. Again, that's how you got to the High Priestess. So, and also too, that kind of dynamic, let's say we're trying to service a whole bunch of different situations, or maybe just one other person or two other people or a couple, like just that's a Chariot. I'm being pulled in a lot of different ways. That's the number 5, but it's a past reflection. It's what's leaving your life right now. And that's a major arcana card there too. And now that you look at it, you got 4 sitting right there. So a major life lesson right at this moment, but it's leaving you. That's the great news. So we're going into a new chapter, and that's a Chariot. Let's say you are a leader in business or just your community or just yourself. You need to know how to handle a lot of different situations. And in the older decks, I didn't even have to have my hands in my reins. I knew where the horses were going. They knew where I wanted to be taken. I didn't get pulled in different directions by negativity or positivity. Nothing dissuaded me from my laser nice focus, and that's what you've learned. So congratulations, Libra. It's not an easy thing for Venus ruled, so those kinds of responsibilities and such, but it's great. You did it. And if you were having to, let's say with the tower, people in your life that you had to kind of support while you're still doing your own thing because they might not have had it all right and going together, That's okay. That's what the lesson demanded of you. So no harm done either. And that's where we get to the sixth, the present statement. So you're like on the gerbil wheel of hell. So let's get off it, okay? I did all this stuff for myself. I became the queen. I became the high priestess. I overcame the tower. I even overcame the chariot. And now I'm doubting myself. That's the Eight of Swords. It's the rejuvenation, restart, and the refresh in the area of our thoughts. But we've already fought for ourselves. We already fought for our identity, how we want to be considered, our character, integrity, ethics. All get challenged in the journey of the swords, our thoughts. But the eight gives a refresh. But in this case, it's like a refresh of just the same continual narrative in our head and in our heart and our spirit, especially for a Libra. I need you to break this. You know, I know that makes sense to you right now. Because in the seventh card placement, which is a direct extension of that first card, so it's another reflection on what the reading is all about, and you're just done anyway. The 10 is a completion of a creative idea. So whatever that creative idea, it can be people, it can be business, it can be family stuff, whatever you've been putting a lot of energy in and feeling like you've had dual lives with the chariot and putting a lot of out spirit and maybe getting disappointed and things breaking down no matter your best efforts with the tower, and it's kind of left you doubting in that number 6, and now you're just outright tired, you know, and that's a shame because the queen overcomes the 10, and we need to kind of get that aside because we need new fresh energy, and it's coming to you and it's on the horizon. I'm sure you're probably starting to feel it like a breath of fresh air, because that's the 8th card placement, is how other people look at you. So they're already seeing you ready to take off in new directions, and maybe you got a big facade up, but I would say, like, you know, just when you're in a bad mood, you go around smiling and saying please and thank you and having gratitude to other people, and all of a sudden you're in a really nice mood. That's this. Other people look at you as someone that's dynamic and ready to take off with new thoughts, and they might not be fully formulated, but they're going to be fair and just. And maybe that's why you had to go through whatever the tower was, so you learn that your heart can be applied, but it needs to be applied to the best. And it can't be compromised of your integrity, your ethics, what you would never allow a friend sitting over a cup of coffee and they were telling you a story. You would just say no. Mary, you just need to get on with it. And now that's what I'm saying to you, okay? And the Knight says you are moving on. So if you're worrying about how other people perceive you, if they think that you're like the, you know, Libra, that could be like the Virgin Maiden, oh, you know, no, that's not how people see you. So that's good to your advantage. Again, tap into that vibe because it's who you are, and if people see you this way, and you want it anyway, because in the 9th card placement, I got the Ace of Swords, which is our hopes and fears, a duality. And this gal is great because she's us coming alive with our own identity. Dig me, don't dig me, but I dig me. And I have something to say, I have something to share, I have something to apply. And that's fantastic, especially when we go to the energy of that number 1 with the High Priestess. So imagine that intellect and strategy, analytical thinking, and fairness and justice getting merged with spirit and God and universe and the spiritual arts. Wowie zowie. So, oh my God, I'd have to say this too. So anywhere you want to apply good service that you feel like you could be the healer, you know, that's this, you know what I mean? Anywhere where you feel like you can make a difference in people's lives, that's these kinds of cards, right? And that 10th card placement, I bet you that's kind of true. Because there's the Page of Wands. I want to take off. I want to fly. My imagination. Again, that new day dawning. The sun is coming up around me. You know, so that's a really special thing. And for the bonus card is the Moon. And that's a reflection of you, like, you know, if you have family issues or mama issues, those are passing out of your life. But also, too, you are the Moon. She's shadowy, she's scary sometimes and all that. But you are the Moon in the reflection of the things that you had to encounter to get here. Okay? So don't let anything other than the good vibe of the Moon. She's like a mama. I've reborn you. And you've paid you paid a big price to get where you are. And it's definitely dissipating, but you're kind of staying stuck in it, and you know you need to move forward. So I suggest you do. Oops, sorry about that. I suggest you do, because it's for your betterment. And I just, you know, once you take that one step, the rest of it's going to really follow. So go get it, okay?